C14 should look fairly similar to our last drawing with C13. Some of the same commands. We will be utilizing array again and learning some new features with this command. So I'm going to go ahead and go into AutoCAD, and I already have these three things done. Please make sure that you have them done prior to moving on and kind of following through with the video. This should be very simple to do. You're just going to be creating circles. Please make sure that you do pay attention though to when you're doing circles with diameter versus radius. Once I have this done, I'm going to go ahead and do AR for array. I'm going to select the objects, select polar, and select the center point. Please make sure that you're not selecting the center point of the small circle, or else you will be arraying circles around this central point versus the center point of this circle. So this does not look like what I need at all, so I have a few modifications that I need to go ahead and make. First of all, I have to figure out how many items I need. So if I count, I've got 1, 2, or be even faster, I can just look and see I've got 8 holes. So I can go ahead and change this to 8. Now this still isn't good, so I really need to change the space between. But if I look here at the drawing, I don't know the space between the center point and the center point. I could figure it out by dividing 8 and 1 by 135 and determining that. Or what I can do is AutoCAD allows me to choose an angle of fill. And since I already know I want to fill this angle of 135 with 8 holes, I can go in and change this here instead of 360 to 135. Click somewhere else, and it's going to allow me now to very easily create the shape that I want. I can go ahead and hit close array, and now I have to determine where the circles on this side of the drawing are going to go. So if I go back and look at my drawing, I can see that I've got on this center line circle and on the center lines for the larger circles, I've got two options. I can either place the diameter or the 1/2 diameter small circle either here or here. I'm just going to place it right here and kind of show you guys some things with the array that you may not know that it does. So I'm going to create a circle, and I'm going to just make sure it's along this path where the center line would be, and I'm going to do diameter 1/2. And now I'm going to do array again, select the circle, select polar and the center point, and I can go back and look at my drawing and say, okay, I know that I have 6 holes and the fill for the angle is going to be 90. I don't know the space between, so I can go ahead and type in those two options. So it's already had the items for 60. The fill, I just need to change that to 90. And then it's going to create not quite what I want, but it does have the number of circles, and the space between and the fill are all correct. So I have to use an option up in the top where the array commands are, and I've got to select direction to change the direction of my circles. Now, had I done the circle right down here at the bottom part of my drawing, it would have arrayed and done this correctly. However, that was not a hard thing to fix, and just to click on the direction, and now let's hit closed array. And now all I need to do is add my center lines and dimensions. So I'm going to show you guys, instead of doing an array for the center lines themselves, it will be a little bit faster just to go ahead and create lines. I'm going to create a line going through here and a line. These are going to be the center lines for my large circles, and I do need to go ahead and add a center line here as well. And this is going to be indicating, it's going to be a little bit tricky to snap to it. This is going to be indicating the center line that I'm going to be using for my angle dimension. So I can go ahead and select these lines here and here, change this to center line, and now I need to go ahead and lengthen them. So I'm going to do LEN enter, DE enter, 3/8, and I can go ahead and select each of these points without having to hit enter or escape. And now I do have my center lines done. I'm going to go ahead and change my layer to dimension. I'm not going to add all the dimensions. You guys know how to do this. I do want to go ahead and make sure that you are aware that you need to add angular dimensions, and they should be outside of the drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and show you, if I was adding this 135, I'd want to make sure I've got snap on. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 past. I would do the same thing for my 90 degrees. Another thing just to point out, make sure that you're using the diameter dimension for all of the diameter dimensions you need to include. It would probably be smart, since it's going to be a little bit tight, to add a diameter dimension for these circles instead of here, is to add diameter dimension for these small circles here, and then I would just do times 8 holes or times 6 holes, however many you need to put for your dimensions. Other than that, when you finish this, go ahead and add title block, print it, and then upload it to Schoology.